Now, a lot of business owners and sales reps struggle with high ticket sales because they don't have a reliable process or they don't have the proper technique to close high dollar deals on a steady, repeatable basis. In some cases, the systems and techniques that's required to close a $1,000 deal will actively deter six-figure clients in enterprise type deals. In this video, you'll learn the mindset, the tools, and the techniques that I learned the hard way. The same techniques that helped me close $23 million in personal sales, helped generate over $200 million for our clients across every industry imaginable, from enterprise software to high-ticket coaching programs. I'm going to walk you through the three core elements you need in order to transform your sales approach from a guessing game into a reliable system that you can use to close more high-ticket deals. If you don't know me, I'm Dylan Rich. I started at the absolute bottom in door-to-door sales, doing car sales, grinding out cold calls as an SDR. And over the past 12 years, I've personally made more than 100,000 cold calls. I've sold everything from $1,000 packages to multi-six-figure deals. I've tracked and documented everything along the way. Today, I run Automated Revenue, which is a B2B business where we build and scale high-performing sales teams for 7- and 8-figure business owners. Companies pay us a lot of money to implement the exact systems that we're about to go through in this video. And I also run the SDR Whisperer, which is a sales training and mentorship program where we help people learn high ticket sales, transition, become sales killers, and then we help get them jobs with our businesses that we work with on the automated revenue side of things. Step one is to cultivate your mindset. In high ticket sales, your mindset will make or break you. I dedicate nearly half of our sales training to mindset work because I'm a firm believer that everything starts, not just sales and business, but literally everything in your life will start and end in your mind. If you believe you can achieve something, you have a better likelihood of achieving it. If you're a salesperson or a business owner, how many times can you recall that you had that big deal to hit your quota or, have your record month in business, and you think about it and you're like, I hope this guy closes. I hope he signs the contract. I hope he pays. You have this anxious energy towards it. And those are the deals that never, ever close. Now, the deals that you kind of forget about are the person that maybe you missed a follow-up on and they just hit you up randomly like, hey, let's get started. That comes down to your mindset, right? There's not going to be techniques, not scripts, not closing strategies. And the reason for this is the control principle. There's an ancient philosophizer named Epictetus. And what he said was the chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals, which are outside of my control, and which have to do with the choices that I can actually control. Now, in sales, this is super important. You can control certain things, but you can't control whether a prospect buys your program or books a call or shows up to your call. That decision is entirely of theirs. But as a business owner or salesperson, you can control how well you prepare. How good are you at your skills? How much have you practiced? How thoroughly do you understand their business? How empathetic were you on the calls? How professionally you ran your sales process? How good did you understand their problem and then help them understand that you have the solution to the problem? When you release yourself of the outcome and you just focus on the input, and if you just focus on getting better every day consistently, the outcomes will come. Which brings me to the next part, which is the consistency paradox. Here's what separates average performers from top sellers. Average sellers, they get hot, they close a few deals, and then they change their approach when they hit a dry spell. When things aren't working the way they should, they revert back to old tendencies, old habits, old previous thought patterns. What makes an average person a top person really isn't their skill. It's they maintain a consistent behavior regardless of results. The more consistent, the more you show up, the better you become, the better questions you ask, the more mentorship that you seek will determine how much money you're going to make in sales and in business. And I've seen countless salespeople, right? They hit record months, they go 2 weeks without a close, and then they abandon what got them there in the first place. Don't do that. Stop living your business, stop living your life, your sales, your career on a week-to-week basis. And the negative ramification of this is these guys overanalyze. They change everything. They dig themselves into a deeper hole. This is all downstream of not cultivating the proper mindset from the get-go. That's going to enable you to perform at a high level across a long time horizon. The next thing, and the thing that stops most people from achieving this mindset, is your ego. We're salespeople. We're business people. We're driven by monetary success, material success, spiritual success. Your ego is going to be there. It's a trap. Don't give in to your ego, right? When you start closing deals, it's easy to think you're above the coaching, you're above the feedback, you're above critiques, you're the top dog on the team. Don't have that. Always be a student, always be humble. Like, yeah, things are growing great, but at any given time, things can go downhill. I worked 5 years at a company. I worked my way up from an SDR, cold caller, up to a director level. And then the business owner sold the business to a competitor who just wanted our customer list and just liquidated the company. Like literally, I did everything I was supposed to do, consistently hit my KPIs and achievements, got promoted multiple times, thought I was big man on campus. And then like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, but you are without a job now, Dylan. So don't let the ego get in your way. In high ticket, you need to be kind of the turtle in the race. And I know that sounds strange, but I've seen countless natural gifted salespeople go full bore and burn out. They want more money faster, and they're chasing things that don't lead to fulfillment, and it's not sustainable. Meanwhile, the people who just show up every day, they focus on gradual improvements, not instant gratification type people. They keep a steady pace. They're going to close more deals simply, winning bigger in the long run. Those are the people that manage their pipeline. Those are the people that don't cut corners. High ticket enterprise deals, they're bigger by nature. And because of that, sometimes opportunities will take time to develop and mature. When you're selling something that's $20, $30, $50, $100, $250,000, people take time. It's a massive business and financial decision. There's going to be multiple stakeholders that need to sign off on this. It's a longer deal. And the people who can delay that gratification, continue to focus on the fundamentals, they're the ones that are going to be able to get those things through the finish line. And at the same time, they can have those $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 closes that hit quicker to mix into it. Now, what to do right now if you're watching this video? First, you got to create clear separation between what you can and cannot control. Make a list of every element of your sales process, your business, categorize it. What is in my control? What is outside of my control? And then focus exclusively on the things that are in your control. Focus on improving those things and just not worrying and detach from the outcome on the uncontrollable. Now, secondly, document your process. When something is working, when it's working, you need to do more of it. And when you hit a dry spell or a low month in business, what you're going to be able to do is just go back and reference an SOP, a video, whatever it might be, and just follow the blueprint that already worked. Getting right along here. Step number 2, you're going to need technology and systems. This is where most people get tripped up. They overcomplicate their tech stack and drown it in the coolest SaaS and these bells and whistles, or they try to do it with pretty much nothing. Oh, I got a Google Sheet, I got an Airtable, and I talk to business owners all day long, and I've heard a crazy systems that people have. Like some people have like Salesforce and they're doing like 20K a month. Like that's overkill. Or I have people who are doing 300K a month and they're like working out of Monday.com or spreadsheets. I'm like, how do you even get there? And they just have a very strong offer and strong audience, and they've kind of gotten away with it. The foundation piece that you need to have this is a non-negotiable if you're a business owner. You need to have a CRM. If you don't know what CRM stands for, it's contact relationship management. It's where you manage all of your contacts and all of your conversations in one singular place. So an entire team, founder, director, manager, sales rep, closer, setter, whatever it is, y'all can be doing everything in the same place. Your CRM is your command center. High ticket deals, like I mentioned, have longer sales cycles, and you need to make sure you're staying on top of leads that might go dark. So what you need is a system that can do 3 basic things well. First, CRM needs to track your entire pipeline with detailed notes and activity history. High ticket deals might have 5, 10, 15 touch points before close. They could be phone calls, texts, emails, social media DMs, LinkedIn messages, whatever it is. You need to have everything documented in there. And most CRMs nowadays have direct integrations with your Gmail, so you can have a two-way sync. If you email somebody in Gmail, it shows up in the CRM. You email somebody in the CRM, it shows up in your Gmail. You can search for it. Make sure all these things are connected. Now, secondly, you need to manage your follow-up sequences. In sales, timing is everything. Your systems need to tell you exactly when to reach out and with what message makes sense. You need to have subcategorization. It's great. You have opt-in, meeting booked, contract sent, closed won, closed lost, disqualified. That's like a bare bones one. What I challenge you to do is to make sub-segments of those top level pipeline stages. If you have like, follow-up, what does that mean? Do I need to follow up with them today? Do I need to follow up with them in a month? Do I need to follow up with their business partner? Do I need to follow up in a year? What does it actually mean? Because if you hire somebody, they go to a follow-up stage, like, oh, this is where a lot of leads, then they're calling people you don't want them to call. This person's like, yo, I just talked to you. Like, why are you calling me? If you want to do it, like a hot deal based on your sales cycle, somebody who's going to close this month, right? That's a hot deal. Put that in hot deals so you know, okay, what's going on with these leads, Mr. Salesperson? Follow up 30 to 90 days. That's the second segmentation. Then you have a follow up 90 days plus. If they're unqualified, why are they unqualified? Do they have budget? Is there no need? They're not the right person. The timeline's off. If they said no, what is the close lost reason? Was it a budget problem? Did they not need it? Did they go with a competitor? A lot of people skip this step. They drop the ball. This is how you lose six figures. This is why you probably have multiple six figures sitting in whatever database or CRM that you currently have right now. They're just sitting there. You don't know how to find them, and they're waiting for you to hear them. Now, the third thing is a no-brainer, but no one does it, is you need clear reporting on key metrics. What's your sales cycle? What's your conversion rate? How many activities are being done? A good one is even segmenting more in your data. It's not like, oh, how many meetings were booked and how many deals closed? Like, that's lazy. How many calls were made? Of those calls, how many times did we talk to the person that we intended on talking to? Of those conversations, how many were qualified? Of those qualified, how many meetings did we book? How many meetings did we show? Of those shows, how many were qualified from a closer perspective? How many offers were made? Of those offers made, how many were closed? What's our close percentage? What's our cash collected? What's our revenue per call? Then you can go down and do reverse funnel metrics and be like, okay, well, if we know for every 100 dials our setter makes, we book 4 meetings. And of those 4 meetings, 2 are qualified and we're closing 1. Then if we want to grow our sales by X, then we just do a reverse calculation. Also understanding like deeper level metrics of like, what are our best attribution sources? Which ad set did these leads come from? What's our return on ad spend? What's our cost to acquire a customer? What's their lifetime value? Like all these things. So which CRM? Now there is no cookie cutter best CRM. So I'm not going to, rank anything. I come from enterprise. I've used Salesforce. I've used HubSpot. I've used SalesLoft, Gong, all these things. I like Go High Level. If you're doing under $300K per month in revenue, that's my go-to recommendation because it has all these things. Now, the cool thing about HubSpot is it's really good for multiple teams. So if you have a whole CSM team, if you have, a setter manager, a closer manager, you have, a media buyer, you have an advertising team, you need cross-departmental communication and transparency, HubSpot is going to be the best. But if you're working with like a small team and you're doing $200K a month and you're ripping ads and a funnel, like Go High Level is going to be sick because it has everything built into it. Now, another one that's kind of in the middle there is Close.io. Really good for outbound sales teams. It looks sexier than Go High Level. It's a little bit more refined. I'm a little bit more nerdy with systems, hence why we build systems for sales teams. If you've watched this far and you're like, this sounds awesome, I need this in my business, what we'll actually do is we'll come and build your entire sales team. We'll do your CRM, we'll do your Zaps, we'll write your scripts, your playbooks, we'll help you hire setters and closers. You want to talk about that? In the link in the description, click on it, apply, book a call, and we'll chat. But at the end of the day, if you use any of these, like I said, it comes down to how well you utilize it and how well it fits within what you do as a business. Now, the next thing here, right, is automation. You can't automate the actual selling. What you want to use is software to actually help empower your sales team to be more effective and more efficient. Schedule follow-up tasks based on specific things. You already kind of touched on that. Create meeting documents and agendas. You want your appointment reminders to be automated. Text and email going out at specific times. You can send pre-post meeting materials. You can actually update your pipeline stage that can talk to PandaDoc or DocuSign, create a contract automatically. So your sales guy doesn't have to do that. And they can close people live on the phone. All you got to do is click 2 buttons and boom, contract is created with the name, email, business, the pricing, blah, blah, blah. You hit send, done. The more that salespeople can sell, the more setters can call, and the less they have to worry about stuff. You can automate that. Absolutely going to be super powerful for your business. You want to amplify the human element, not remove it. If your sales team has to go in and update a shit ton of notes and change all these things, like that's not their area of expertise, right? So you're going to get bad results, which makes you have bad decisions made in the business. Now, how to actually put this into reference. So sign up for a CRM, whatever it is. If you want to just test the waters, I'd say use Go High Level. Sign up for Zapier, non-negotiable there. Set up automation flows inside of High Level that speak with webhooks to Zapier. Focus on your follow-up, meeting management, increasing your show rate, helping create transparency and visibility so your salespeople can do the right things at the right times. And then you want to establish reporting and dashboards. You could use spreadsheets, you can use Typeform, Google Form. And then the goal of your tech stack is to support sales, right? Not replace them. Now we're getting the juicy stuff. How to close high ticket deals. So we've covered mindset. We've covered systems. Now you need to hammer into your brain that closing is not a standalone skill. It's the natural outcome of everything that we've discussed so far. When you have the right mindset and the proper systems in place, what's going to end up happening learning is that you're going to be speaking with higher intent prospects. These people have now been reached out to at the right times. They've had great experiences with your sales team. They've gotten all the resources because you've automated those things. They're going to be more invested in your process and your outcomes. And they're going to invest more time on actual call techniques as a result. Now, Mindset and Tech Stack are there to make closing deals as inevitable as possible. The last thing you want to do is have somebody ready to buy and you didn't update the CRM, or you don't have a CRM, and that person buys a competitor, because when people want a solution, they're going to find a solution, whether it's yours or someone else's. Closing techniques here, the art of listening. To make it in sales, high ticket sales, you need to talk less and listen more. I've analyzed thousands of sales calls, and the top performers speak around 30-40% of that call. You need to be really good at taking in information, kicking it around in your brain, understanding what is the best logical next thing to say to prompt that person to speak more on the subject we're talking about. Oh yeah, we're doing 40K a month. Oh, nice, man. Like, how are you currently generating or acquiring most of your customers nowadays? Oh, we're using, mostly word of mouth referrals, and we've been kind of adding in cold calling. Are you the one doing the cold calls, or do you got someone for that? No, it's just me right now. Nice. How's that going for you? It's just natural curiosity and progression of a conversation. It doesn't feel like they're in an interrogation room or they're getting waterboarded in Guantanamo Bay. You're just, hey, that is information that I understand. Like, what is the next thing I'm curious about? And it just sounds like a conversation. Now, the next thing here is understanding pain points. And I'm sure you heard pain point this, pain point that. Every deal, you're selling the transformation. This is where having the right mindset becomes crucial, because if you're not committed to solving the real problems for people who need help, then high ticket sales is not going to be good for you. If you genuinely just want to close the deals, make your commission check, it's going to make closing harder. But if you generally want to help, it actually becomes easier when you detach from the outcome, when you just focus on what you can control. You listen to that person intently and make sure that you're actually able to help this person with what you do. And they feel that energy. They're going to reciprocate that level of communication and respect. People aren't going to just open up and tell you all their problems and confide in you. You're a stranger. You need to understand the surface problem. How is that impacting their business? Or if you're selling B2C, how is it impacting them personally? Okay, we're doing 40K a month. Great. How are you scaling that? We're not, because it's based on referrals. Do you think that referrals are scalable? No. Great. We have that baseline understanding together. What happens if you don't get referrals next month? Oh, well, we don't make any money. Okay. How big is your team? Right? What is your operating expenses? What does that mean for your personal life, your wife, your kids, your mortgage, right? But the more that you can massage and understand what is the actual business or personal implications of this problem going unsolved for a period of time, and have them actually articulate what that is, you're going to be able to sell and persuade and to serve your prospects. Getting into the closing. So once you've listened, you've understood, you've created a case. I call it tying the knot. Problem to solution, problem to solution, problem to solution. A lot of reps treat closing as this dramatic moment where they need to deploy some special techniques they read in a sales book. But if you've done everything else right, you've maintained the right mindset going into the call, you've used the systems effectively, you understood the prospect, closing is just the inevitable next step. Now, there's something called the assumptive close. Once you've understood the situation and confirmed everything, you simply start speaking as they're already your client. So when we implement this, or during our onboarding call, once we're started, or after we've done the thing, you're confident. You know you can help them. It's just a natural thing. You start speaking in that tense. When you present your solution and price, resist the urge to keep talking. And this comes down to mindset. If you are uncomfortable or you don't have a lot of money and you're selling something high ticket, you aren't confident in somebody actually being able to sell it. I've seen this so many times. Someone raises their prices because somebody on the internet told them to. They've jumped from $2,500 a month to, $8K a month. They have never spent $8K in their business or in their life on anything. How do you have the confidence to say this is going to be $8,000 a month? Usually when someone's like, yeah, it's going to be $8,000 a month because of this, they're like, whoa. The most important part of how to close a deal that you don't close on the initial call is following up, the dreaded sales word for high ticket closers. Most high ticket closers that take a call, if they don't close, boom, on to the next one. And that person would have bought. Most likely would buy if you just treated them as a real person and you had a vested interest and you remembered what they said and you followed up timely. This is where systems help you a bunch. So if your CRM is tracking every interaction, every pain point, you put in the notes, and you craft timed follow-ups, or you schedule follow-ups. You can do that in a CRM. So like, hey, Dylan, follow up me in 2 weeks. If I'm not confident that I'm going to do that, I might as well write out that email right then and there when everything is the most fresh in my brain. Write it out 2 weeks from now and schedule it for 2 weeks from now, so you don't even have to think about it. Putting this all together, you get a clear, concrete framework for closing deals. First, the deal DNA in your CRM. What's their current situation? What were the pain points at all 3 levels of surface, business, and personal impact? Decision-making process. What is actually having to occur to get this deal across the line? What do they care about? And is there anyone else involved? I take all my notes in Apple Notes during the call in my other screen. When I'm done the call, copy and paste it into the CRM. Super easy. Now, the second one, value architecture. So map each pain point to the solution. How are you doing this? Quantify the cost of inaction. Calculate the ROI in terms that they understand. I like analogies a lot in this point. And then share proof. And then you present everything. You use the silence strategically. You assume the close. You set next steps, and you plan a follow-up if required. There's zero mind games, zero manipulation, or unneeded sales pressure needed. And when you combine the right mindset with solid systems and these closing principles, high-ticket sales is going to become remarkably consistent and easy. You're going to grow your business. You're going to grow your bank account. Just follow this. I've done this for over a decade as an individual contributor and as a business owner and as a coach and consultant for high ticket businesses. If you've went through this, I hope that you've received value. I genuinely love making videos like this. This is what I nerd out on. This is what I eat, sleep, and breathe is sales systems, growing and scaling businesses. So if this sounds like something of interest to you, you want to chat, you want to get a free sales audit where we actually will screen share, I'll get nitty gritty, or someone on my team will get nitty gritty into your business and actually give you valuable insights, whether you work with us or not. Click the link in the description, apply, book a call, and we'll chat. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.